welcome Power Rangers Playback.
Oh, we have such a delightful guest today. I have
Yes.
just learned so much about her, and knowing that neither of us got an opportunity to meet Thuy, this is the next best thing for sure.
Yes.
We've heard some really amazing things about Thuy, but this is one of her best friends that was actually in the car with her when she got into that fatal accident. But she has gone on to do some amazing
So
things.
she's so inspiring. It's incredible. Yeah. It's powerful to see how God is using her life.
Yes, how God takes something that could have been such a was a tragedy, but has made it so beautiful. She has been on Ellen DeGeneres. She has been on Entertainment Tonight. She has been modeling. She has been a spokesperson. She is a spokesperson. She is doing some amazing things. Well, without further ado, Miss Angela Rockwood.
Hi, everyone.
And I have to say thank you to the fan that introduced us, because I had posted something and he reached out to me and said, you should have Angela Rockwood. And I was like, Angela Rockwood, I've never met you. I hadn't heard your name mentioned to me before. And so I looked you up and I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to meet this girl. And so thank you to that amazing fan for connecting us. It was such a perfect introduction, and I'm so grateful to you for giving your time to us today.
No, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. And yes, thank you. I believe it's Josh who made the introduction. So thank you, Josh, so very much. He's been wonderful with just connecting me with everyone. And I'm just like, what is this notification? What's this notification? So when you reached out, it meant a lot. And then actually being here with both of you to share Thuy's legacy means everything. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. We are really honored to have you. So thank you.
Well, where should we begin, Angela?
Where should we begin?
Yes. Can you tell us, first of all, how you met Thuy and how long you
Oh my God. Do I tell you the funny version? Or, I mean, it's pretty interesting because we tell friends, especially guys, like we want to joke around with whatever, like, yeah, when we met naked. And they're like, what? And they're like, no, seriously. And Thuy has a sense of humor, so she likes to run with it. But I would be like, look at her like, okay, let's stop. Let's tell them what's going on here. But seriously, so in Los Angeles, there's a gym called Crunch, and we used to go there all the time. We were both gym rats. And actually, I didn't know Thuy, obviously, during the time, but we met in the sauna. So I actually was in the sauna, and I was in there by myself, and I was meditating and everything, and I was going to start chanting. And I was just on this whole spiritual path of enlightenment and just finding who I was as a woman and everything, and just getting really connected. And I felt two individuals come in, and one of them was Thuy. So of course I was like, man, now I can't meditate, I can't chant out loud, but something just said, you know what, just ask them. So sure enough, I started chanting and everything, and all of a sudden I felt one of the bodies like get up and leave the sauna. And as I was laying there, it was interesting because I could still feel like two presence in the room. And when I opened my eyes and I looked over, there was Thuy. She was sitting in the corner, you know, wrapped up in she was sitting on her towel, but there was nobody else in there with us, but I could feel someone was with us. So I was like, she has an angel. She has a guardian angel. So make a long story short, we started talking, and I was like, so do you know that, you know, you have a guardian angel? And her ears kind of perked up. And it turns out that her father had passed away. And so we had a connection there on a spiritual level. We started talking about him, about his passing and everything. And so that's where our relationship started, with our connection of just the whole spiritual realm. And I know that through our relationship, she was always like wanting to reach out to her father, or at least her father know about her success and everything and how she was doing in life. So obviously when she had passed away, when I was in the accident, they didn't tell me that she passed away, but I knew, I felt it, which I'll get into that later. And obviously when my friends had told me, I wasn't sad. When they actually had given me the news that she passed, I kind of, not happy, but there was a part of me that was, there was a sense of peace, because I felt that she now carried on and was with her father. and she had the wish that she had wanted. So that was the connection that we had. That was very, very deep to me. So yeah.
Wow, that's very intense.
Do you remember what year that was? Was she on Power Rangers or was she off Power Rangers?
Oh no, yeah, she wasn't on Power Ranger. That year when we met was it was, I think it was 1999 or 2000, because the car accident was in 2001. Yeah, it was
So
1 week
you
before.
actually came into her life after Power Rangers then. So
Yeah, yes. But I knew her story, which was ironic because what's interesting is my other girlfriend, and I didn't know this, I found out the night of the accident while we were in the car driving home from San Fran to LA. The driver, who's also Asian American actress, her name is Defiana, she too was trying out for that part. So the two of them were both auditioning for the Yellow Ranger, which none of us knew that. So the coincidence, there's no coincidence. I call them coincidence. The coincidence of that was pretty unreal, and we had found out that night while driving back from SF to LA. That's something I never shared actually, but yeah. But I knew her story of becoming a Yellow Ranger. That was something that she shared with me, and we had spoken about and everything. So, but I didn't know her when she was a Yellow Ranger. I knew her afterwards.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. Did the other young lady survive the accident?
She did. Steph did survive. So basically, when the car flipped a couple of times and hit the second railing and flew over the bank, the second mountain stopped it. And of course, Thuy, she never wears her seatbelt. Sorry, Thuy, but she never wore her seatbelt. When I used to pick her up to go to the gym, she would pretend to put her seatbelt on. Like if a cop went by, and then she would release it. So of course, in the accident, she didn't have her seatbelt on, and she bounced all over the car, and she landed half in, half out of the trunk. I was catapulted out of the little triangle window in the car accident, so I flew out of the car. But Steph, she had her seatbelt on. So when the car flipped like 5 or 6 times, it landed upside down. So Steph was still in the car, but miraculously, all she had was like a couple of just scratches on her face. But she was able to take her seatbelt off, and I think she either kicked the door open or kicked the glass, and that's how she got out. And that night, it was about around 9:30, 10 at night, and it was dark, and it was on I think it was the I-5, and she was like looking around, the dust was settling and everything. And, she found Thuy in the back of the trunk. She spoke to her, and Thuy had responded, and she said, just stay here, I'm gonna go look for Angela. So she was looking around, she was panicking, of course, probably crying too. And way, way, way up ahead, she can see me like face down, laying on the left side of my face, and then that's where she found me. So she went up to me and she spoke to me, and I responded, and I just said to her, like, go get help, go get help. But then by that point, like all the blood was like gushing out of my head. So like I just passed out, and that's when they finally, what's crazy is nobody was out there, but there was a car that was way, way, way miles behind that finally caught up, and the woman who was driving was a nurse, and she was with her husband. So they got out, they helped us, and I guess they had called for help, and the helicopter had came and airlifted Thuy to the hospital. Unfortunately, when they stuck the trach down her throat, the blood started gushing out, so she was already dead on arrival. And then they threw me in the ambulance. They brought me to the same hospital. When they found out that I broke my neck, they said, no, put her back in the ambulance. We're going to transport her to another hospital. So they transported me to Sierra Vista, which is in San Luis Obispo. So then I went to that hospital. I had to have like a 2-day blood transfusion because I lost so much blood. And then that's when I woke up. I opened my eyes. I looked up at that ceiling, and it was like deja vu. I felt like I'd been there before. And I just knew, like, the first thought was like, oh my God, I'm alive. And the second thought, I was like, okay, this is it. Like, it's the big bang I've been waiting for. Because a lot of folks who have followed my story, they know that when I was 17, I had a premonition I was going to be in a horrific car accident. I didn't know I was going to be paralyzed. And ironically, this accident, I was in a bad car accident. So I didn't think that this was the accident. But when I was laying there in that bed, I couldn't feel anything. I couldn't move. I didn't feel my body, nothing. And I was just like laying there, but I just had this sense of peace that came over me. I wasn't scared. I wasn't worried. I was just like, okay, this is it. And I stayed in the intensive care unit for 9 days. Now, Thuy, it's pretty interesting because my family was there in the hospital and a few friends, and of course my ex-husband. And I kept waking up around like 3 at night, and I kept feeling this presence by my bed. And I kept telling my ex, I need to know if she's alive. I need to know if she's at the hospital, if she's trying to communicate with me, you know, astrally traveling, whatever, because we had this spiritual connection. And so they were afraid to tell me that she had passed because they didn't want it to hinder my healing. But the day that I felt it the strongest was when they had cremated her. My ex and a few other friends, they didn't tell me, but they went down to Orange County, and then of course they had the cremation and everything. And that's when I felt her presence so strong around me. So of course, when my friends came back to the hospital, you know, it was about a good 3-4 hour drive from LA to San Luis Obispo. So friends had to keep driving back and forth to see me. So when they came in that day, I said, I just need to know. I just need to know. And my other girlfriends are like, just tell Anne. She knows. Just tell her already. But they didn't tell me until, you know, 9/11 was going on, because our accident was 1 week before 9/11. So when they finally found a rehab facility for me, which was in Downey, Rancho Los Amigos, once I arrived, I think it was on September 14th, then that's when they had shared the story. They were like, you know what? We want to tell you that Thuy didn't make it. And I wasn't sad, but I just remember, like, I mean, sadness in the sense of, okay, my girlfriend's not here, like, physically, but, you know, her energy is always around. I always feel her and everything. But it was just this sense of peace of like, okay, her soul is rested now because she's with her father. Because that was something that I knew that really bothered her in a sense, you know, not in a bad way, but it's almost like she didn't have closure with her dad when he left. And so for me, it was kind of like she just reconnected with him, you know? So I was just like, okay, she's in a good place, you know? So that's how I took it. Yeah, and then after that, I was like, all right, Thuy, we're going to do this. And then I just picked up my life and just been living my life for her and for those that, you know her.
So in your your bio, it said that you were told that you were a quadriplegic, that you were never going to walk again. And you had a moment where you felt like, no, that's not, like, you felt this fight come up in you. So what was that moment for you? When did you know that was going to not be your reality, that you were going to do everything you can to fight that?
Oh, the moment I woke up, I knew right away. The moment I woke up that day, I was laying there. Like I said, that moment when I was laying there, I was numb. I couldn't feel anything, you know. And this is coming from, I was a martial artist. I was a runner. I was an athlete. I started racing motorcycles. So I was a very physical woman. Like, I was very active. I was an adrenaline junkie. And then here I was now in this vessel that couldn't move. And my friends know me. Like, I'm just very animated and energetic and everything. And so here it was now, I was in this body that I was like, okay, I'm paralyzed. And I hadn't heard yet. The doctors hadn't told me my diagnosis yet, but I already knew inside, like I said, when I had that sense of peace. And I heard this voice, whether you want to call it God, Buddha, Allah, whatever you want to believe in, but that same little voice was whispering me during the car accident and before the car accident, which I didn't go into details of that. But when I woke up, the voice told me, you know, basically, this is not going to be permanent. It's only temporary. And I saw this vision flash before me, and I already knew. And I told my father, who was there, who's from Tampa, Florida, I said, Dad, you have to go to Barnes & Noble. It's a bookstore. You got to get a journal. My dad sat by my bedside, and he wrote word for word my vision, and I can tell you I'm living it till this day. So to really answer your question, though, Catherine, my whole entire life, I've gone through so much, like so much, from like molestation to abuse to rape to everything. So I lived a life with a lot of like struggles. So when this happened to me, when I got paralyzed, for me, it was just like, okay, this is nothing. And I knew as a person, I had to make a choice within that moment, whether I go down the negative path or whether I go down the positive path. Because I know if I go down that negative path, nobody will be able to bring me back, not even myself. So I had to make a choice right then and there that I'm going to go down the positive path. I'm going to pick up my life. I'm going to focus on this vision, and I'm not going to look back. I don't care what anybody says. I'm stubborn like that, and that's what I'm going to do. And I even remember telling my ex, he was sitting there in the corner just devastated and depressed and sad, like just with this face. And I was like, wipe that face off. Like, what's wrong? I was like, I'm going to move again. I was like, I don't care. And this was me like strapped to this like surfboard type apparatus. I could not move anything. I couldn't even like move my head like this. Like I was like pinned back like Hannibal Lecter in some kind of apparatus. And I was just like, I'm going to move again. Just watch. I was like, whether, because the doctor said I had 3 to 5% chance. So I'm going to move and feel in other ways, one way or the other. And fortunately, I am classified as a C4, C5 quadriplegic. So I am paralyzed from the neck down. So if I do lean forward, I will fall out of this wheelchair and someone has to pick me back up. But I was lucky enough that I left the country after 3 years of my paralysis, and I went to Portugal, and I had a pioneering stem cell surgery done. So that helped bring back a lot of movement and sensation throughout my body and strength. So that helped me too.
So you have mobility in your arms and your hands.
So I don't have my dexterity. So what you see here is like my hands are paralyzed. So if I'm like doing my makeup or whatever, for example, like let me see here. I have like the mug, like I'm holding my mug here, but I have like my lip gloss. So most of my lip glosses, like the wands are like very thin. So I wrap like rubber band, kind of like stick and turn it. But like you see, I like and I kind of do it like this, and then you can see how I just kind of cup it. So you just learn to adapt, They're not actually moving. It's just kind of, I learned how to just kind of work with what I have.
Your makeup looks better than mine.
So, so I just intertwine everything in my fingers, from my forks to my spoons. I'm able to feed myself. When I'm laying in the bed, I'm not able to sit up or roll over, so I do need help with that. But once you put me in my wheelchair, I can take on the world. So, it's just.
Do you have any issues with swallowing food or anything like that?
No. Thank God not. Fortunately, my injury level is at C4. So like Christopher Reeve was at C2. So most quadriplegics do have to be hooked up to a ventilator. Fortunately, because I was a runner and my lungs were strong, the doctor said that I didn't have to be hooked up to a ventilator, thank goodness.
Yeah.
So, but I will say that my diaphragm is weak, that if I get a cough, I'm not able to really cough up, like when you try to like clear your throat or cough up phlegm. So someone just has to kind of push on my diaphragm to help me kind of like get that wind to like move whatever it is that I need to move.
Right.
We have some questions coming in, but I have so many myself.
Me too.
But before we get to the questions, can you just answer this? Because I think it's so imperative for people to know, just, whether they believe in God or Buddha or whoever they may believe in, that we have a subconscious. We have these feelings that come across us that give us an inclination on things to do and things not to do. I mean, there's been several situations where I know that God has been like, no, girl. And I've been like, okay. And I've seen what has happened, what was going to happen if I would have done what he told me not to do. So you had spoke a little bit about that before we had gone live, that you kept getting these signals that would stop you from going to San Francisco. Could you just kind of tell us a little bit about that and what was going on? Because people know about the car accident because you've just shared that, but where were you guys going, and why were you guys going to San Francisco?
So basically, I was planning my wedding. During that time, I had just gotten engaged with my ex, who obviously was my fiance at the time, Dustin Wynn, and uh, Thuy and my girl Steph were my bridesmaid. So we were going up to San Francisco to plan the wedding because my maid of honor, who lives in San Jose, Christina, she lives there. So we were going to go see her. Now, as I was sharing with you guys, you know, when there's that airplane and they say it's canceled or something, don't sit there and get upset because things happen for a reason. So basically, I remember I originally wanted to drive up there, but something happened to my car where I was like, okay, I can't get my car to work, so let me see if I can rent a car. So I had reached out to my ex, he was at work. I said, do you have one of your guy friends that can give us a car? And it turned out that the person wasn't able to do it and they were going to come in time. So I said, okay, well, let me ask Thuy. So then I asked Thuy, and then it turned out Thuy's car got impounded. So I was like, okay, now Thuy don't got a car. I don't have a car. The rental car is not working. Thuy doesn't have a car. So then I asked Steph. I was like, Steph, can we borrow your car? And it turns out Steph almost didn't let us borrow it. She was sitting there. Steph is the driver. She said, well, my tires are kind of bad, but I don't know, and this and this. And I was sitting there trying to convince her, come on, Steph, we got to go up. It's Labor Day weekend. We got to go see this party. We got to do this. They're going to have the best house music. So I was sitting there like convincing her. All these obstacles were like telling me, no, don't go up, don't. And you know what's so ironic and what's going to sound crazy? Okay, I'm going to really take this on a spiritual level. So my mom, who's pretty intuitive in that sense, for those who know me, they know like I'm pretty connected like that. If you ever seen the movie Sixth Sense, that was me when I was a little girl. So
Really? Wow.
yeah, so that's a whole other story. And I've died five different.
With you.
I know. We'll have part two. And I've died 5 different times, and I've crossed over. The last time I crossed over, I didn't want to come back. The car accident, I crossed over. That was very briefly. That was the 4th time. And this 5th time, this last time, that was very interesting. So that's a whole other story. But my mom actually had called me. I remember where I was sitting. I was sitting at the desk in my office, and my mom called me, and she's like, Ange, no hello, nothing. She's like, Auntie. And I was like, yes, Mom. She's like, are you married? And I was like, what? Because nobody knew this, but I had eloped with my ex, but we were still planning the actual wedding. So my mom said, are you married? And I said, no. She goes, but you're living with your boyfriend, right? I go, yeah, we're engaged. She's like, but you would tell Mom if you're married, right? I said, yes, Mom, we're planning the wedding. We're going to get married. She's like, okay, Angie. She's like, you better be careful this weekend. Don't get in a car. And I said, you know, when your mom's nagging you, you're just like, okay, whatever, Mom, you know. And she's like, don't get in a car, Angie. She said, you better wear your seatbelt. It's not good. You shouldn't get in a car this weekend. So she actually had told me not to get into a car and to wear my seatbelt. So I was kind of like, of course, I'm not listening to her, whatever. But so now I listen to Mom. Whatever Mom says, now I listen to my mom. But so yeah, so I answered your question about like all the little signs and everything, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I tell people, but you know what? This is the thing. It's like if I didn't get, you know, people say, oh, well, if you had your seatbelt on, then you wouldn't have gotten paralyzed. But if I didn't, you know, if you see that car is like flipped over and it's like crushed. And obviously Thuy's like what, 5'1"? She's 5. I'm 5'9". So she bounced all over the car and landed half in, half out of the trunk. And she had internal bleeding, you know, may she rest in peace. But if I was still in the backseat of that car with the seatbelt on, I would have easily been crushed. So why is it that? So I never really shared the story. So what's interesting is we were not supposed to come back home that day. And actually, when we were going up to San Fran, the car did break down. There was problems with the car because I took photos through the whole entire trip. So we actually had pulled over, and Thuy and Steph had to fix the car, the tires, and something else. I don't remember what it was, but I remember seeing the photos where we were pulled over on the side and they were all posing and everything. But coming back home, the thing is, we partied that weekend. I remember the next day we woke up, we went out for some lunch, had some fun, everything. And Thuy, she wanted to get back to LA because she wanted to go to some Hollywood party of some sort. And me and Steph were like, oh, we don't really care, whatever, whatnot. But she wanted to get back, so we were like, okay. And my best friend, Christina, was like, I don't know, you guys. I don't feel good about this. And I was like, no, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. And Thuy actually called shotgun. So when she called shotgun, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll sit in the back seat because I'm 5'9". I'll take a nap, whatever, you know. Now, we stopped once for gas and once for snacks. And each time I got back in the back seat of the car, nobody wears their seatbelts when they're in the car, in the back seat of a car. When you're the driver or the passenger, you wear your seatbelt. One, because you want to be safe, or two, because you want to get a ticket. But most people are pretty lazy not to put their seatbelts on when they're in the back. But I deliberately put my seatbelt on. Like, I just felt like, okay, and I put my seatbelt on. And I'm remembering another reason why I was feeling that. Because if I rewind, I'm going on these tangents, but follow me here. So 2 days prior to that actual day of the car accident, we were in San Fran. We were having lunch. And I remember we had to catch a cab. And we got inside. I remember Thuy was sitting to my, I think Thuy was sitting in the front. I was in the back. And that's when Steph jumped into the car in the back seat with me, with her boyfriend at the time. And she was sitting there looking for the seatbelt. And I remember her saying, where's the seatbelt? I need the seatbelt because I'm in the suicide chair. And I never heard that term before, that the middle part is where you get ejected or whatever. Like I was sitting there thinking in my head. So something whispered to me, remember that. Something actually said to me, remember that. So that's why when we were in the accident, I said to myself, okay, put your seatbelt on. So when we were in the drive going back to LA, I was sleeping, I was taking a nap. I woke up. Steph and Thuy were talking about the weekend, how fun it was and everything. I unfastened my seatbelt at that moment to pull myself forward to get in the center divider to get closer to my girlfriends, you know, because the story was getting juicy. And at that specific moment was when when Steph was going around a turn of the mountain, there was some loose gravel and she started drifting to the side and she started hitting the grooves. She tried to correct the car. She overcorrected. I went back into my seat, not thinking to put my seatbelt on because I'm not thinking of a horrific car accident. And then that's when I put my head down and I started praying. And I said, oh God, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Please protect us. I don't want to die. And I could feel the car. It started violently fishtailing. And then that's when the car swung around. That's when the back of the car hit the side of the mountain. And my head was down because so that's when the top of my head hit the back of the seat. And it shattered my C4, C5 vertebrae to smithereens. And then that's when I severed my cord and was paralyzed instantly. And as you guys know, that's when the car flipped 4 or 5 times. I was catapulted out of the triangle window, not rectangle, the little triangle window. And I flew. And then when it continued, it hit the bank, and that's when it flew over the bank. And then, of course, you guys know the rest of the story is when Steph was in the car still, and she was upside down. And she was like, and she was calling for me because I'm like seatbelt queen. She thought I was in the back seat behind her, but I wasn't. And obviously she looked to the right and Thuy wasn't in the passenger seat. And that's when she crawled out. And that's when the dust was settling. It was pitch black. And then that's when she saw everything. So, yeah.
I mean, what a trauma for her. What a trauma for her to see her 2 best friends like that. I mean, it must have been horrific for her. Like, I'm sure she
dealt with the survivor's guilt. I know that for a fact because when I was in the emergency room, the intensive care unit, I remember she was coming around, and I remember my friends and certain people were just looking at her, you know, and it's hard, you know, some humans, you know, you can't, you know, they're looking and whispering, and she probably just felt very guilty. And I remember saying it to her. I said, Steph, I said, this is an accident. And then she was just like, yeah, but why did I have to, you know, I said, it's an accident, it's okay. And I said to her, it's my destiny. This was supposed to happen. And she said to me, yeah, but why did I have to be a part of it? Why did I have to do this to you? Oh. And it haunted her. I know it haunted her because she didn't come around, and then that was it. And then I saw her again, like maybe 12 years ago, and then that was it. I've never seen her ever since.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's so sad.
Yeah, but I mean, it's, I don't, the way I look at it is everybody has their path, you can't be upset or whatever. So everybody has their evolution of how they're going to evolve as a soul. And what's very interesting, I want to share with the both of you is that watch out what you ask for because you will get it, not in the way that you want it all the time. And the night of that party, I remember, and I have photos, I wish I brought them. Obviously, they're back home, but me and Thuy were up on the balcony, and we were looking down and marveling at all these beautiful people. There was thousands and thousands of people at this house, this big pool party, playing house music and everything. And I remember thinking, you know what, God, I'm so grateful for my life right now because, I'm engaged. I just signed with a modeling agency, an acting agency. I have my girlfriends, but there was a little bit of negativity in my life that was like in this little corner when I was living in LA. Because as you guys know, LA, there's some shallow people, not a lot, but
There's a lot.
not a lot, but I just said, I have some fair weather friends, and I said, I just want to be surrounded by good, real, spiritual, down to earth human beings. And little did I know that the very next day I was going to be granted that, because the next day I got in my accident, and all the friends that couldn't deal with this situation, they all slowly faded. And then little by little through the years, I just started becoming blessed with all these wonderful, beautiful, just loving, spiritual, just real, genuine people. And so now I can easily say, I'm so blessed with the most beautiful friends that I can call family. I can probably call 10 people right now on my hands. If I told them to come here to help me at any time, it could be 3 a.m, they'd be here by my bedside. And I don't think a lot of people can say that if they even have 5 to count on their hands,
Yes.
So
I
yeah.
remember, what's her name? Joni Erickson?
Erickson Tada.
Erickson Tada. Yeah, she said exactly the same thing as you. She prayed that God would use her life in mighty ways. And then she had that accident that paralyzed her. And her story is a whole another hour. But I just think, wow, you don't know, like you're saying, you can pray for things and ask for things, but you don't know. God we have a very creative God, and he uses lives and situations in ways that we don't understand sometimes. And I think it's amazing that you actually stepped into that, because I know a lot of people that go through trauma like what you've gone through are in a victim's mentality for a long time, and it takes them a long time to get to where you are, if they ever do. So I think it's amazing that you had this vision and this spiritual connection to your trauma and your in the way that you wanted to use your life and inspire people. And it's really remarkable. You're very in tuned, and I think that's amazing.
And you've been used.
Thank you.
And you've been used. You've been used in a mighty way.
Mighty
ways.
Which
people that are not quadriplegic or in wheelchair bound have not used their gifts or their talents or their abilities to inspire, to uplift and encourage.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yeah.
We have a ton of questions.
Oh my gosh, we sure do.
We're gonna get to
the first one. Is, oh my goodness, we were talking for a long time, weren't we?
No.
This is perfect. Okay, so hold on, Angela. We've got to get back here. It's here. Okay, this is from Buffalo Tika.
Oh, that is your friend. That's
Tim.
Okay, no, that's not Tim.
No.
The gentleman that introduced Josh, he was one of the first people to contact Josh Bulldog 3611.
Yes.
Hi, Josh. And he's the one that referred you to each other.
He connected us. Yes. Thank you so much, Josh. It's truly a blessing. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Josh.
Super chat, raise them up high.
Tim, gold level member of PRP.
Yes.
What was the most impactful piece of advice that Thuy shared with you that still resonates today?
Oh my gosh. You just got to live. Twee and I were very similar in a sense where, I mean, we were soul sisters. So I remember watching a video that she has speaking about her life when she came over during the fall of Saigon with her family. I mean, that was, if you guys know that story, it's a pretty crazy, tragic, just I can't even, there's no words for it. My ex also went through that same thing. They're both Vietnamese. So they both share that of the fall of Saigon and the escape back, or the escape from Vietnam to here. And she's a fighter, she's a warrior, she was definitely a real life Wonder Woman. And so her thing is, when you have a dream, which, you know, she had her dream and she accomplished it and she represented, you just got to go out and you just have to do it, and you have to believe, and you just got to live your life and just do it. I mean, it's not as eloquently said, but it's just basically to the point. Just do it. Just live your life. And that's one thing about her. She just lived it up, you know. She just had this free spirit, and she was always just like, it was like she was floating. She was always floating, and just
about her.
yeah, she always wore white. So I have 2 birthdays. I have my actual birthday, which is March 15, and then I celebrate September 4 when I woke up from the accident. And when I do that, my anniversary of life, I have everyone wear white, and it's remembrance of Thuy, because she always wore white. She was always like this little angel, just kind of floating around, and she made her own clothes. And I was always impressed at how she could just get fabric and wrap it around her and make it look so elegant and sexy. And she just like, you just got to live and just do it. And she just float around and just do her thing. And so, yeah, that's the thing that we shared. Just don't let anything stop you, and just do it.
That's beautiful.
Amen.
All right, next is Ben Hamilton.
Super chat, raise them up high. All right. Sup, ladies and Angela. Thuy Trang paved the way to many Yellow Rangers. We love you, Trini. Vaya con Dios. Vaya con Dios.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
Lafayette Williams, super chat, raise them up high. Hi, Angela. I'm sorry about what happened. Tweet to Thuy Trang. I'm sure she was an amazing yellow Power Ranger on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Yes. Nate, who is one of our channel members, Red Buick,
super chat, raise them up high. I am glad Thuy had such a great friend in you. If she were here today, I can guarantee her fan base would be tremendous. Yes, absolutely.
Oh my gosh. We wish all the time that she was here for us to meet her, first of all, but to just share, because this has just grown. Like, I mean, she was on it when it was at its peak, but to see this almost 30 years later, to see this show still thriving. Actually, it almost feels like it's bigger now than it was when we were on it.
Yeah.
And it's such a shame that she doesn't. Well, she is watching. She is a part of it, and we all keep her alive. We celebrate her birthday. We celebrate her legacy. All of the Yellow Rangers always pay tribute to Thuy. So it's really a blessing. She paved the way.
Thomas Franco. Okay, what is Vaya con Dios?
He says
Vaya con Dios means go with God, rest in peace, Thuy Trang.
Oh, that's beautiful. Vaya con Dios.
Vaya con Dios. And Thomas is one of our channel members as well.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, hold on. We got to go all the way back down here.
Why?
Oh, no?
No.
Oh, okay, sorry. All right. I was like, did I just jump? No, I didn't. Okay, next is Bolton Biggs.
Super chat, raise them up high.
Hi, Angela. I'm a big fan of Power Rangers, and Thuy was one of my favorite Rangers. Can you tell us a little more about Thuy?
Oh my gosh. What should I say about Thuy? She was a foodie. She loved to go out and eat. There was a place in LA that we used to go to. I think they called it Fred Siegel, and she'd like to go there and get her special dishes here and there. She loved working out. She loved her ice cream. I remember she'd work out so she can have her ice cream. I remember working out with her, and then she'd be like, okay, just drop me off over here. I'm like, well, don't drop me. No. I'm going to go to Ralph's because I'm going to get my ice cream. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, she loved her ice cream. That's for sure.
Oh, I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. Joshua Charles just saying hello. Thank you,
Yes.
Joshua. Justin Smith,
I just saw his on here.
super chat.
Raise
Raise 'em
them up
up
high. Let me see. I just saw Justin's on here. Now it vanishes. Okay, forget it. Justin, thank you for sharing your story with us. How do you believe Thuy would react to her and Power Rangers being so loved so many years later?
Wait, repeat that, please.
How do you think Thuy would respond to how popular Power Rangers is right now and how loved she is so many years later?
Come on, she would love it. Are you kidding me? She would completely love it, especially nowadays with representation, with what's going on in the world and everything. I'm not trying to be politically correct here, but the fact that, she is the Yellow Ranger, she is Asian American, she's all about representation, she's fully all about representation. And so I think it's just huge. And I know that she definitely would be very proud, yet still humble. She's a very humble person, but she would definitely be very proud in her heart to represent and exactly what she did from day one. It's just going to be on a whole other level and just really amplified. And she would really emanate that energy.
Was Thuy a martial artist? And before she was.
She was. Yeah, she was very spiritual. She was a martial artist. So she was just basically like Bruce Lee, female Bruce Lee.
Wow, I love it.
I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if she just discovered it on the show because a lot of us were dancers. Amy Jo was a gymnast, so I wasn't sure if she just learned by being on the show and she just had some skills from dancing or whatever. But so she was the real deal.
She was the real deal.
Yes, keeping up with the boys.
Yeah.
Dacus.
Oh, you were gonna say something?
Oh, I'm seeing that someone here, Raku Sefaraman, I don't know how to say his last name. I'm thinking she trained in Shaolin Kung Fu. She did, I think she also did, because she was from Vietnam, I think she also is called Viet Vo Bao Tren. It's like a Vietnamese form of martial arts. I think she started with that. I think she did a little Taekwondo, but I think she also did Kung Fu as well.
Wow.
So I know she dabbled in a little here and there. And she was, obviously very flexible and an athlete, so she was able to really sell it.
Yeah.
So I remember that. Yeah.
Beautiful, just like a doll, like just the most beautiful, gorgeous looking woman.
And 5'1",
and
so
tiny.
her and Amy Jo were like the same
She
height.
looked taller than that. Like she was very
everyone
elegant.
on screen looks
but
taller.
She looked like elegant and long limbed. Like I just on screen, I just didn't realize she was that petite.
Yeah, so, I think what it is because just she's very well proportioned. A lot of actors actually are very petite.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. Like I know like Tom Cruise and Pamela Anderson. There's like a lot of actors that are petite, but they're proportioned well. So they appear to be larger, I guess, or bigger. And so Thuy, she was, that's the other thing, like she was small, but her energy, she just exuded her energy where you didn't realize how small she was.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tiny but mighty.
Yes.
Yeah. She did. She walked around with confidence and she was walking into a room and she embraced her energy. That was one thing about her. She was very confident.
Yeah, I've heard that about her.
Yeah,
there's stories about, Austin told us a story about how she hurt her knee or something on set, and she would make them carry her around like a queen around the set.
But she did it with
love, with
humor.
Like she
was
totally taking the piss out of all of
it. Yeah, she probably was joking like, "Carry me now, I'm your queen." She probably made some joke or something.
Exactly.
Because that's how she is. She'll take something and she'll make humor of it and just make it so cute.
Yes, that's what they said about her. They said she had a wicked sense of humor.
They had nothing but really, really great compliments after compliments. I've never heard a negative thing about Thuy.
Me either.
Never.
Not one. From the crew either. Not just the actors. The crew all loved her. She just was a special soul.
Yes.
David Matchin, who is one of our
Tim Dacus.
Didn't you just read that one?
No.
Oh, you read Justin. I'm sorry. Tim Dacus. Super chat. Raise them up high.
Hi, Angela. I love Thuy, my favorite Yellow Ranger. I remember all her episode lines. Glad you're okay and continue her legacy. Your pictures of her, do you have pictures of her and you?
I do. I have them at home though. They're not here with me. I'm trying to think if I might have a few on my phone right here. So what I can do is I can probably send them to you, or I can put them on my Insta story.
Yes.
Yeah, put it on your Insta story. Yes.
Yeah, and then I'll put them on my Insta story, and then I'll tag you guys.
That would be
How about
wonderful.
that? I think I have a few in here that I probably took a snapshot of before I left, but I'll see.
I would love that.
Yeah, that would be
Everything is back. You have to remember, back in the day, that was 21 years ago, so we didn't have a cell phone.
No.
So everything is photos, but luckily I'm a photo freak and I like to put everything in chronological order. So I did, believe it or not, that weekend, I had bought like 6 or 7 disposable cameras, and I passed them, one to Thuy, one to Steph, one to Christina. Of course, I had one for myself. I don't know where the other 2 went. I think we just kind of used them up. But I had the whole entire weekend just captured. And I remember being in the, not in the intensive care unit, but when I finally went to Downey in the rehab facility, they basically developed all the photos, and then they just basically covered all my walls with the pictures of that weekend.
Beautiful. That's
So
beautiful.
I have those photos with Thuy. So those are all at home in my photo albums, but I might have a few in my phone.
Wow, that's beautiful. David Matchin, super chat, raise my pie. Hi, Angela. Thank you for coming on and sharing your story with us. Have you seen Austin St. John's tribute to Thuy? If not, it's on his YouTube channel.
Oh,
I have to look. I have seen it. I have seen it.
No, I haven't seen it. I'll have to see it. I haven't seen it.
It's a beautiful tribute. So Austin, you can go on his YouTube channel to see that. Bolton Biggs again has another question. Super chat.
raise them up high. I'm trying to find it on the
Would you
chat
like me
here.
to read it?
Yes,
I'll
can you
read it.
please?
Angela, I'm so glad you shared your story. I think of you and Thuy every day, and on your accident, I wear this yellow bracelet I had made that had Thuy on it, and I'd love to send you one if I could. Oh, that's beautiful, Bolton. Well, you can find Angela at the real Angela Rockwood on her Instagram. We'll put it on our little chat, and we'll also put it below the video. If you'd like to reach out to her, send her gifts and love and light.
Yes, thank you. I would love to have a bracelet to represent Thuy.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Chad Wilson, super chat, raise them up high. Angela, you have a beautiful spirit and soul. Thanks for sharing your time and your story with us fans. Did Thuy ever share any experiences on Power Rangers or how she left the show with you?
You know, no, she didn't. She just, the stories that she shared with me were pretty much when she auditioned for it. She didn't share anything about when she left the show. Just when she auditioned for it, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What she did to prepare for it and when she got it and everything like that. That's what she shared with me.
How did she prepare for it? What did she share about that?
Gosh, oh my goodness. I think it was so long ago. But I think I remember her saying she got with someone to help her, I think to help her come up with some katas or some moves, I think, for the audition. I think that she said something like that. But I think I might have even read something where someone had helped her out with it. But yeah, I remember her. And then there was some other stuff, but I can't really share it. But I hear Thuy saying, "Don't say it, don't say it." But yeah, I'm gonna say a little, because I think it's a whole age thing. Because we always wondered how old Thuy was. We never really knew how old she really was. So I was always like, as her girlfriend, was like, "Thuy, how old are you?" She just always looked at me. So yeah, so it wasn't until after the accident that I found out her real age. So I was like, okay, Thuy, yeah.
Oh, so she was older than she
like yelling at me now. I hear you like, "You're not supposed to say that." Yeah, but so I don't know. I remember looking it up because I remember that details I'm not going to say, but I do remember in the car accident when I spoke. I didn't speak, but my my friends had spoke to the individuals, the officers, and things like that. Because obviously they had all of our belongings and stuff. So I was always like, okay, how old is she really? So yeah, so I can't really say.
Well, she looked like a teenager.
Yeah.
So she's
Yeah.
That's
That's the
Hollywood age.
thing.
Hollywood age.
Her skin was so beautiful. I mean, I know she's Asian, and they say age don't fade, or whatever they say, or Asian raisin, whatever they call it. But her skin was just so flawless, and it was very angelic. Not to be like, because she's an angel and she's, but she just I always stare. I mean, she's a beautiful woman, but her skin and just and I know the other thing that was one thing that she did. We were that weekend, my girlfriend Christina, her fiance John at the time, I remember he was having issues with like pores and stuff. She's like, "Oh, that's easy. All you need to do is just get some ice." And I just rub ice all over my face to close all my pores. So she walks around with ice, just like closing all her pores and everything. So that's one way she.
There is something
Yeah.
to the ice on the skin. They say that really helps with
Lemon.
inflammation.
That's what she did. She had no pores. Her skin was poreless and flawless. It was so beautiful. Yeah. I don't know how we went on that tangent from her age to her, I guess from her to her skin.
Yes.
Yeah, and she didn't do any Botox or anything like that. She just had immaculate, gorgeous skin.
Amen.
Good. I love it.
Chanzo Tambuzi. Thank you for, super chat, raise them up high. Thank you for this. I didn't know how much I needed to hear this story. How much of Thuy was in Trini? And I know you have wonderful photos as memory, but did you get her recent action figure?
Oh, yes.
No, I didn't.
I did a good job.
I need to get it. No, I didn't. I would love to get it.
They've made a couple of editions of her.
Would anyone like to buy Angela one and send it to her?
Yeah.
Birthday gift. No.
Yes, exactly. It's coming
March
up.
15th.
Yes.
I did hear. I heard that she, I heard from another friend that her character and who she is as a person, very similar. Very, very similar. So, yes.
Yeah, she was very zen.
A real life superhero. Come on, you guys. Come on, of course. Hello.
Did you ever see Power Rangers? Had you ever watched Power Rangers when she was on it?
I did see Power Rangers. I didn't watch the one that she was on. Don't get mad, Thuy. I actually have a friend too who was a Power Ranger, Dan Southworth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of ironic how, because we knew each other when we were racing motorcycles, and then later I was like, wait a minute, you're a Power Ranger, and Thuy was a Power Ranger. I was like, what's up with these Power Ranger things? I did watch Power Rangers because when I used to babysit not babysit, but when I was living in Hawaii, my brother and my sister used to watch Power Rangers. So of course I'd be sitting there watching it with them and everything.
Did you grow up in Hawaii?
I didn't grow up in Hawaii. It's like when you're asking me if I was from SF, but yes. So I'm gonna just say really quickly. So I was born in New Mexico. My father was in the Air Force. So I went to the Philippines and I grew up in the Philippines. That's where me and Thuy really connected because she's from Vietnam and I lived in the Philippines. And then I moved to Madrid, Spain and Guam. I didn't come back to the United States until I was 15. So she and I were very similar like that. My father retired in Tampa, Florida. I left when I started modeling, went to Hawaii, New York, Hawaii, Jacksonville, Florida, Dallas, Texas, then San Francisco, and then now Los Angeles.
Wow.
So,
all over the place. Yeah. Wow.
But you're not in Los Angeles right now.
No, right now I'm on the East Coast right now, but I'm bi-coastal. So I just came out here for the holidays just to check it out and see how it is, visiting family and everything, and just needed to get away from the City of Angels for a bit. So yeah.
I hear you.
We understand.
We understand. Yes.
Michael McCullough just wants to say hello. Hi, Michael. Thank you for your super chat. Sloop Dog, what's up? Super chat, raise them up high.
Hello, Catherine, Nakia, and Angela. Angela, thanks for sharing your story. Thuy is definitely missed. I remember JDF had mentioned that he taught Thuy karate to help her get the role of the Yellow Ranger. Yes, I forgot about that. He said
During
that
the
he was
audition
during the
process.
auditions they had him help like teach her a kata to actually audition. That's really interesting.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
I forgot about
we
that
got
as
through all
well.
the questions.
Did we?
We did.
Do you want to load it
Shall
one
I
more time?
refresh one more time?
Wow, and in time as well.
I'm so impressed with us. And
Go
Yay.
yes. Oh no, Chanza, one more time.
Okay.
We have one more. Sorry, Chanza's got one more question, and then we'll let you wrap it
Here
up.
it is.
Jason Frank shares a wonderful story of how he taught Thuy the kata, and that she auditioned with because she was replacing Audrey Dubois from the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful story. Thank you again. So
Okay, yeah, I do remember that story now.
yes.
That was 21 years ago, you guys. Come on, my brain. I'm like, wow. But I do remember saying that. No, I'm saying to the fans, but I do remember something like that.
We were on the show and we don't remember things.
Yes.
So we have no excuse.
Where are some places that people can find you? I know in your bio you said that you were working on some things. Is there anything you'd like to share? I put your Instagram in here so that we can follow you on Instagram. I already follow you on Instagram.
I do too.
Thank you.
Want to share with the audience?
What I'm doing now, what's going on now?
Yes.
Oh, God. I love this question because I love sharing, and at the same time, I like being humble. And then I also believe that I don't like to share a lot because I don't want to jinx anything, just like the magic of it all. But I will say that, of course, everybody knows because of COVID and the whole pandemic, it shut down a lot, you know, in the entertainment world and Los Angeles and everything. So as a few folks might know or may not know, about, I can't even believe it's already, so 2013, it's almost been, what, 10 years? I had created and produced my own reality show called Push Girls with 3 of my other girlfriends and another girlfriend, Chelsea Hill. Basically, I would say it's like Sex in the City, but on wheels. And we were on for 2 seasons. We won the Critics' Choice Awards for Best Reality Series. So the fans are asking if Push Girls are going to come back. They're still asking, and they're still wanting to know. So I have a couple of projects that I'm working on to kind of bring that alive. I don't know exactly what's going to happen just yet. I came to the East Coast because I'm just like Thuy. I'm all about representation of just beauty comes in all shapes, sizes, color, and every vessel. And here I am now. I'll be 47 soon, a quadriplegic, Asian American, in a wheelchair, and getting back into the modeling realm to show again that, you know, beauty comes in all sizes, color, each and every vessel. And so I want to continue breaking the stereotypes and just doing my work with the modeling and getting back into the acting and everything. So that's why I'm over here on the East Coast, so I could be bi-coastal now and just spread more love all over. And so that's what I can share for right now. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Thank you so much, Angela.
Thank you. Thank you to the both of you. And to everyone out there who loves Thuy and who continues to keep her beautiful soul and her legacy alive, because she truly is. She's an angel, you know. When she was alive, she really, truly is one of a kind, and there's no one like her. And the fact that her soul and her energy and her light can still live on is just amazing. So thank you so much for allowing me to be on your show and to share a little piece of my story and to continue to allow her light to shine bright. I really, really appreciate it.
Oh, we appreciate you.
We definitely appreciate you.
We all wish she was here physically, you know, but she is around. She's flooding around us and spreading her love and her magic and her light and her laughter and her goofiness. You know, she was very goofy, so she's still around us, you know, not physically, but she's still around. And thank you so much for allowing her energy to still be around.
Yes.
We would have gotten along very, very well because I am quite
You're not
goofy
at all.
Quite goofy. So we would have gotten along very, very
but
well.
We all are birds of a feather. We flock together. You gotta be goofy. Life's too serious. You gotta have that goofiness, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a big goofball too.
I get a Nakia ab workout once a week because she makes
Oh,
me.
I love it.
It's awesome.
Where you're just, I did one of those just the other day where you're just laughing so hard you can't
Yes,
breathe.
that
And you're
is
just like, like, yeah, I was doing that the other day with my girlfriend because her friend was doing something silly. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. But Thuy was just like that, where, it's just that girlfriend where you get that hard
yeah.
belly laugh, that Buddha
There's
belly laugh.
nothing better
Mhm.
than that. And especially like with COVID and everything, it was such a depressing time, and it was like we just laughed more than we've ever laughed, I think.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
What was it? What were you guys laughing about?
There's
Just
been
so
so
many.
many. We had a whole laughing fit
Fit.
while we were live once, and we just could not
Get it
one of the
together.
one of our friends. So he was mainly Kat's friend at the time. We were reading the lives, and he was like, there's two of us on here. So most people, they're like, hi Kat, hi Nakia, hi Angela, hi. And it popped up, and it was like, so I'm reading them all. I'm like, hi, responding. And he goes, hi Kat, not hi Nakia, not. And I was like, oh, hi Kat. And we just,
Oh my gosh,
we
it just
couldn't-
tickled us. I don't know, it just tickled us, and we couldn't get it together.
No,
were
we
just
couldn't.
completely. When she laughs, though, it's contagious. Like her whole.
Oh, I
body.
love that. Oh, I want to hang out with you all the time then.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
We would love it. We would love it. I want to have a part 2 with you so we can hear more about your story. And we have a podcast as well, so maybe we'll have you on that because our podcast is a little bit separate of Power Rangers, and maybe we can have you on there to talk more about the spiritual part of this and
I would love it.
what happened, what your journey has been. So that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
I would love that's my cup of tea, so I would love that. That would
All
be
right, awesome.
It would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a date.
Let's do it. All right.
Yay!
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much to the both of you and to everyone out there. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for making my birthday month, seriously. And you guys continue to do what you do. I really, 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 really appreciate this so much. It was an honor. And stay strong and healthy during this time.
You too. You too.
Lots of love to the folks out there in Ukraine and everything. May we continue to just keep raising the vibration and everything. So thank you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And many blessings on your journey out there. Whatever you have cooking up out there. So many blessings on that.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Angela.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Oh, Bolton says thank you so much.
Yes.
Just came in.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.
Wow. That was, I knew it was going to be an emotional and an inspirational hour, but that was really, she's so vulnerable and so open. I just really appreciated that.
I had to hold back tears because just envisioning the whole accident and just knowing how God speaks to us and just her intuition, her positivity and how in tune she is with God, and her mom who's given her advice. We've many times where parents are like, don't do this, you don't do that. And you're like, okay, whatever. In our 20s, we're like,
don't take their
whatever.
wisdom.
Yes.
Yes.
We just think we're invincible.
And I think it's very true. I remember meeting the writer, a guy called Gavin, who wrote the book Gift of Fear. And I remember him saying that so many women have these amazing gifts of instinct, and we don't listen to it. And that's when things happen and we get hurt. And we have to be open to receiving those signs. It's like that scene in Bruce Almighty where he's driving. He's like, God, just give me a sign. And it's like stop signs are coming up, and he's like, I just need to know.
Right.
And
we get 20 of them, but it's not exactly what we want to hear.
Exactly.
And I also love when Angela said, be careful what you pray for. And I did mention this before. I remember being on Power Rangers. I remember having everything that I ever wanted. I was filming the Turbo movie. I was in a recording group making an album. I was exhausted, so exhausted. And I remember being inside of the hotel room praying to God for rest.
Yeah.
So let me share that with you guys again. I prayed for rest, and that happened to be right before I ended my relationship with my singing group.
Yes.
And when I found out that Power Rangers was ending for me. So all of that year, I asked for rest and God gave me rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't really want rest.
Yeah, I didn't really want rest. So be mindful of what you pray for. Because now I think about it and I'm like, Lord, if you want patience, I don't pray for patience because God will give you an opportunity for patience. You'll be put in these situations where you have to be patient. So really think about some of your prayers and what you are requesting,
what you're really
of the Lord.
asking for.
Yeah, because He will give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's true.
So we're going to be in North Carolina
Yes.
this weekend.
Woo!
We're going to be at Ultimate Comics. Salesfish Comics.
Yes, Salesfish Comics on Thursday evening
and
Friday. Ultimate Comics on Saturday, and Rebel Base Comics on Sunday.
Yes.
So if you are anywhere near there, please come and see us. We'll be taking photos, morphing with people, and we have merchandise. We actually have like a Walmart store that we lay out.
Yes. This is true. This is true. We have quite a bit for you to choose from.
Yes,
quite
we do.
a bit.
We do.
So
please come and see us. We'd love to meet you in person, and we will be back on the 23rd. We have an episode that is coming out with Jason Narvi.
Called 5 Questions.
5 Questions with Jason Narvi. He's going to be talking about his favorite episode of Mighty Morphin, answering some burning questions that we had about that. And we'll be back live as well for next month. So stay tuned to see who we're having on next month.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
It would be better if I was there. Okay, Callum said he had a good day.
Oh, did he cuss her out? Oh, I need to go to the bank.